All right, let's pull back the curtain on something you see every single day. The words you read online. Today, we're diving into the business strategy behind all of it. Content writing. We're going to turn what looks like dry academic notes into something you can actually see and understand in the real world. Let's get into it. I mean, really think about your own experience for a second. You're scrolling, right? Clicking through this just endless sea of information, of digital noise. Everybody wants your attention. So how does any one company cut through all that and actually get you to trust them?
The answer is simpler than you'd think, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's not about who can shout the loudest. It's about a quiet, deliberate strategy, one that's built brick by brick using words.
Okay, so first things first, let's frame this the right way. We're not just talking about a couple of blog posts or some tweets here and there. Nope. We're talking about a core, fundamental part of building a business where the words themselves are the most important asset.
See, in the business world, content writing isn't some artsy thing done in a corner. It's a critical function that sits right at the heart of everything. It's the engine that powers both how a company talks to the world, that's corporate communication, and how it gets found by customers online, that's digital marketing.
So, to make sure we're all on the same page, let's lock in a really clear strategic definition. What is content writing when you look at it as a serious business tool?
And here it is. The words that really matter here are professional, process, and planning. This is the opposite of just randomly posting things. It's a deliberate, thoughtful system with two very clear goals: build up the company's reputation and, at the end of the day, help them do business.
And the scope is, well, it's massive. Good content is the fuel for almost everything. It drives marketing campaigns. It's the key to you even finding them on Google, that's SEO. It's the voice of their public relations. It's that personal touch in customer emails. And it's the words that convince you to buy something online. It's everywhere.
So if content is that important, how do businesses actually do it? Well, the best way to think about it is like a toolkit, where every different type of content is a special tool designed for a very specific job. First up in the toolkit, you've got the foundation, the main web content. We're talking about the About Us page, the home page. This stuff is the company's digital handshake. It's the first impression where they tell you who they are and what they're all about. Next, you've got the tool that makes them look like an expert, blogs and articles. Now, this is where a business stops talking about itself and starts offering you real, actual value. The whole goal is to become a trusted go-to voice in their field. And this example just nails it. A bank doesn't just put up an ad that says, "Trust us." No way. Instead, they write a genuinely helpful article about investing. By giving you valuable info for free, they're proving their expertise and building that foundation of trust long before you ever think about giving them your money. Now, this is a super important distinction to make. There's content writing, and then there's its cousin, copywriting. Content, like a blog, is there to inform and build that long-term trust. Copywriting, on the other hand, is all about getting you to take action right now. One builds the relationship, the other one closes the deal. You need both. Then, of course, you've got the tool for conversation, social media. This stuff is way more casual, it's quick, and it's all about interaction. It's how a brand shows off its personality and actually builds a community around what they do. And finally, you've got the specialist tool, technical writing. This isn't the flashy stuff, but it is absolutely critical. Think about financial reports or those long terms and conditions. Here, it's not about being exciting. It's about being 100% accurate and crystal clear. Okay, so we've got our toolkit, we know the different types, but why has this become so incredibly important for businesses today? What's the real payoff here? Well, for starters, it can save a ton of money. Seriously, creating one really valuable article can be way more cost-effective than buying a big, flashy TV ad. And its positive effects can last for years. And second, content just completely demolishes borders. A small business in your hometown can write a blog post that gets read by someone on the other side of the world. Just like that, they've got a global audience. That was basically impossible a few decades ago. And maybe the most powerful reason of all, you can track everything. Businesses can see exactly what's working. They can look at the data and say, okay, 10,000 people read that article, and out of those, 200 people actually bought our product. That kind of information is gold. It lets them constantly get smarter with their strategy. So we've looked at the what, the how, and the why. What's the one big idea you should really walk away with from all of this? It all comes down to this. Content is the engine of a strategic journey of trust. First, a business attracts you with something useful, like a helpful blog post. Then, they engage you with their story on their website. They use social media to build an actual relationship with you. And only then, after all that trust is in place, do they use copywriting to try and make a sale. It's a complete system. So I'll leave you with a question. Now that you have the blueprint, the next time you're online just scrolling through your feed, what are you going to see? Will it just be random words, or will you be able to see the strategy in action, the journey of trust being built right in front of your